All right. So this morning, trash market. There's nothing good if I'm being real. Um, well, I gotta open up my Twitch chat here. Give me just a second. There we go. Okay. So nothing good. ASTS was the only one that looked good, but coming towards the last several minutes here in this area, that's when it started just failing. So around this whole pullback area, it was actually looking pretty good up here, but it couldn't hold its level. As you could tell, it popped up and then rejected. So now it's just kind of failing. But this is the only one that looked good compared to all the other stocks that are on the scans. And this is our leading gap this morning with a 9% gap. So we do have AGRI. AGRI right now is showing a negative 10% gap, but on the other scan, it's showing a 24% gap. So I'm not really sure what chart to believe there, but either way, they weren't looking too hot. So here's ASTS popping. I'd be primarily going for the daily high break of 1148 on ASTS. I don't know. I don't feel confident knowing how it rejected back here. And pre-market has been kind of just slow. Hasn't been a whole lot of price action on it. So I'm going to wait this 1 minute out and see what it wants to do here. See if it breaks this 10-minute low. So it just broke its 10-minute low there. LZ just got halted. I don't know if it got halted going up or down. I'd imagine down. So further bigger pullback here, all the way down to 33. I don't know. 5-minute MACD and 10-minute MACD are both crossing, so this one's gonna be a while before it sets up, probably. It'd have to have some sort of massive rip here or change in momentum for it to look good. I don't know. It's holding this level. It's popping up here. I think it's just a pullback, if anything. Open low there. And literally nothing else has popped up on the scans yet. So it's pretty dead today. Might be a no trade day. I am liking ASTS here, how it's holding these levels. It seems to be holding 1020 pretty well. I wanted the ask to pull back here, but the ask was hovering around 1035 the whole time. So let's see what it wants to do. 1030 now. It's 1040 there. Back down to 1031. There's 22, it's 19 now. So ASTS was coming back. I didn't want to take it for that reason. I knew in the last, well, I didn't know, right? but I had a huge feeling that it wasn't gonna do it because it was just chopping around in that area. It wasn't making its move yet, so that's why I don't want to buy that right there. I was tempted, but I wanted a better fill on the ask if I did. I didn't think 35 or 40 was a good position to be in. So this one's gonna be a while before it sets up, I think. It'd be more of a 10-minute setup probably. Let's see if it pulls back to 10. I'm curious to see if it's gonna. I'm pretty sure it's gonna hold 10. If not, it might break through 10 a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna be anything significant like a massive flush. The only thing I'm concerned about is that gap practically to 975. So we could see it at that level later in the day, but I don't know. Right here, I'm gonna have to wait it out for the 5-minute low to break or the 10-minute low to break. One of the two. I think the next 10 minutes is probably gonna break and then bounce back up, and then we'll see in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes a pushback towards VWAP and a potential recovery of VWAP. So there's a 5-minute low break. Hasn't broken 10 yet. Hit 10:05. Even then, for me to be like pretty interested in it, it would have to break 1050, 1060 area. That's where I think it'd be a bullish stock. Excuse me. So I think it would have to break that level, and it's gonna be a very difficult one to recover on at this point because the 10 minutes just massively red. This thing's just not there. It held 10, but I don't know. We'll see how long it does it. 10:01's a low here. If anything, I'm just seeing these as pullbacks to VWAP. That's all I'm seeing. I don't see any entries or really any long position on it, uh, pretty much at all. It would, like I said, it'd have to be like a 10-minute setup or something. We'd have to get something else going because this is just selling off at this point. I think I'm wasting my time on this one. Low here is 92 down here, so that's why it could potentially hold in the 90s, but then again, it still has a lot of room to go on the daily. Just kind of sucks as our leading gapper here, and it's just selling off the way it is. It's like no long momentum at all. Big bid at 10. Here's the break of 10. Let's see if we get it. So there's 89. So there's the break. Can it hold 10 though? Can we see it back above 10? So it did break there, but can we see it back above? Next 5-minute is opening extremely low. 10-minute, same thing. At this point, I don't know. I don't really care for this stock. It's pulled back way too much for it to make it. It's gonna have to make a massive rip and show like a lot of strength in a push forward. But I don't have much confidence in it, if I'm being honest. It's gonna have to, if it does do anything, it's gonna be later on in the day when I'm gone, I'm sure. So this one's just kind of done, I think. But there's nothing else hitting the scans, like literally nothing else. I don't even know what else to watch. We can look at the other stocks. Sun W. Okay, so Sun W's above here. Just got above VWAP. I don't like its price action though. It's kind of choppy. Plus, in this big candle here, it's only 7 cents, so not worth it. Definitely won't trade that. AGRI, below VWAP. IMPP. IMPP is curling towards VWAP here. Doesn't look so bad. 9 above VWAP. HUSA coming up towards VWAP. ENSV above VWAP. So I don't know. IMPP seems pretty choppy. AGRI 9. 9 doesn't have big moves either, so it's similar to some Sun W. I wouldn't trade this one. So HUSA and IMPP are the only ones that are really on watch now, I guess. HUSA is probably the better looking one between the two, just because it's not as choppy, it seems. IMPP is having a hard time breaking above here. HUSA is also pretty slow. They're not much different from one another, but I don't know. At least we're getting a somewhat of a pullback here on HUSA underneath VWAP, so we can find a little more strength. But then you see a nasty flush like that. Never mind. So market order right there. ASTS pulling back here towards VWAP. So we did get that 10-minute low break. It barely broke. And now we can potentially see a recovery. I want to see what it's going to do, if it's even going to hold these levels, or what the game plan is here. If it's just pulling back, or if it's going to hold, what it wants to do. And then I wouldn't even be surprised if above VWAP it flushes. Like if it makes a big move, if it just flushes, I would not be surprised, just because of how much of a short bias this whole thing seemed to be. I don't know. I just wouldn't be surprised. That's what makes it kind of nervous, but I don't know. We'll have to see soon. ASTS is probably the best looking one of all of them, and that's because it's down. So HUSA rejection, IMPP same thing. So W, it's holding up, but it's not a big mover, so I'm not going to bother with it. AGRI below VWAP 9. Not a big mover either. So ENSV, same thing, not a big mover. Kind of just choppy as well, slow. LZ, this one got halted, now it's back. I don't know. Needs some more volume. Surf, not interested. And that's it. That's all we have on the scans. So lazy, PSO, LFST. Spreads are big on this one, and light on volume. Has potential though. 50 cents away from its halt level. And to keep ASTS on watch, I guess. Next 5 minutes gonna open here. So we could take another trade. We'll test this strategy out. Take another trade for the 5-minute high break. I guess my target would be 1030, 1037 at this point. High of this candle's 1016, 1017 really. So I don't really like this chart pattern here. It's 1019 now. $10.23 now. $10.16 by $10.22 there for a second. Next 1 minute just open. Looking for a micro pullback to get in here. Didn't get it. Now it's taking off without me. 5-minute high broke. Back down to 10.12 now. This one's tricky. It's pulling back 10-12, whatever, and then I see the ask, it's like 10-19, 10-21, and that's where I'm like I want to get a low entry, but at the same time I don't want to get in at all because of the ask. That's where I'm buying. So 17 right there for a second. And that's another thing I just realized. It's going to be hard for me to exit out my trade because I'm filled on NSDQ. So I can't sell at the top here like how I usually do. I'd have to sell down here at 1014 instead of 1019 where it's at. 1016 there or whatever. I have to sell in that range just because that's where NSDQ's at. So it's gonna be tough for me to even get in, get out of this one. LZ's ripping though. LZ's almost halted. Is this one actually gonna get halted? No. So ASTS pulled back towards view up there, and now it's on its way back down. 1006, 1001. So yeah, this isn't it. This is not it. Well, look at that, right back up to 1018. Spreads are pretty big though. It's 1004 by 1018 for a second. So dip got bought up there. It's holding, so I don't know. It needs to break this 1020 level and hold above, which, I mean, it would have to be above VWAP at this point. It's a hard one to say. I don't know. Wasting my time, I think. LZ. I like this one. It just needs more attention. It's hitting the scans, but it has 70 million in float. So it's what is it called? The amount of shares being traded, just not a whole lot of volume in it. I don't know. I like it. It's not a bad one. It's pretty big spreads here. It's another reason why I don't really want to trade it. It's just not moving. It's like kind of dead. It needs more attention just to get this thing moving. It almost got halted there, but it wasn't enough volume in it to get this thing going. But that float is just pretty high as well. So 70 million, I can understand why it's so slow. Go back to ASTS. See what this one's gonna do. So far it's holding 10. I mean, it's holding 10 just like I wanted it to, but next 10-minute opens here. I would like to see it finish high around 1020. I don't know. I want to buy it here at 1009. It hasn't broken lower just yet, but I'm looking at the 5-minute, and that's not giving me much confidence to want to buy it down here. Could potentially double bottom, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think it has to break, and then bounce back up, hold 10 again to show some strength. So there's a double bottom there on the 5 minutes now. But can we see that break at 10? Not a massive flush or anything, but just a break. And then a pop back above 10, around 1020. It would be the best, I guess, look. If it could break this low and then finish high, especially around 1020 high, this would look really good for an entry, I guess, for the break of VWAP here. As long as it doesn't continue breaking its lows back here. If it breaks 990, 980, whatever, then for sure this one's done. I don't have much confidence at this point. So double bottom on the 5-minute. Unless it broke by 1 cent. I don't think it did. 1001 by 1001, yeah. So not quite. Okay, so here's a push higher. It's 1018 there. And now a rejection. It's all the way back to 1008. So, I don't know. Still sideways at this point. Finish low there. See if we get the break down to 1001. And a break at 1001. So far, I'm honestly really surprised how well it's held 1005. It's actually looking like it's kind of curling on the 1-minute, which would be great. Still chopping around a bit, but it's not looking bad here. I just wonder if it's gonna reject. If we're gonna see a flush on it or something, because it's not super strong. It's rejected twice in these pullback candles. So here's one, and then here's another. Couldn't hold, but now we're finally seeing that it's kind of holding this level. It held 10.05 perfectly. It didn't break that low, so that's a good sign. Let's see, there's 10.23 now. Next 5-minute candle is going to open here. It's 28 now. Back down to 20. 17 on the bid. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't really care at this point. This one's just not it. It's probably gonna make a move, a big move. Can't tell what direction yet. It's just sideways, it seems. I feel like it's gonna be a long position. If it continues holding these levels, I feel like it could be a long position. But I don't know. I'm still not entirely convinced at this point. It's very difficult to tell. 5-minute looks like it can rip through view up here, but just the way that it's rejecting when it gets up towards view up, I wouldn't be surprised if it does break above view up, see a flush. And there's a rejection here. This is 10.01, most likely going to break 10.01, and we're going to dip back down to this low here. So that low 1-minute finish. It needs to break the 5-minute low as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if this flops and breaks this 10-minute low too of 988. It's not far from it. There's 10. There's 88. Double bottom there. See if we get that break of 88. Not quite. Ugh. 88's holding. Man, that was a little struggle there. Double bottom at 88, really almost a triple bottom, but double bottom there. Now we're seeing it pop back up. I don't know. What a waste of time though. Huge waste of time watching this one, because just nothing happened with it. It's just a flop. LZ still sideways. It's not really doing much. PLT. Oh my god. SQNS. ISPO. This hit the scans. It doesn't even matter. Sun W. Breaking lower. AGRI. IMPP. 9. HUSA. ENSV, TLYS, and KLXE. Those are all the stocks on my scans. So nothing looks good. Everything looks terrible. ASTS was the only one that I thought had some potential, but I didn't think it had much. Just looking at how it rejected here, mainly just because of this massive decline once market open. If it recovered in the beginning and was able to, at least trade in this area above VWAP, that would have been good, and we could have potentially seen a lot of strength in this one, some decent momentum at least. But nah, there's just once it broke down below this support line that I had, I was like, ooh, this thing can really just go where it wants at this point. I don't know. And then it was holding 10.08 for a while, but now it's below that level, so I don't have a lot of confidence in this one at all for recovery. It could potentially do it, but it's gonna be a long time from now if it does. So I don't know. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Pretty wasteful day. I mean, I was mainly just watching ASTS, but it was just dead. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this uploaded, and I will see you guys next week.